If you're expecting some grand speech, let me stop you right there. This is the story of how I built a 12-foot concrete wall and made a whole neighborhood hate me. Or maybe, finally, respect me. Either way, I'm the reason a shortcut vanished. An HOA president lost her mind. And, well, I'll let you decide if I was right or just stubborn. All I know is the truck started pouring concrete at 6:30 in the morning, and Diane Fletcher sat in her Escalade, lip curling, watching me turn what she called the community access road into 200 feet of reinforced, impassable get off my land. And I can tell you now, nothing smells quite like wet concrete and a neighbor's outrage at sunrise. You ever have one of those neighbors who thinks persistence is the same as permission? Diane sure did. She was the HOA president for Willow Creek Estates, vanity plates, always in designer gym clothes, the sort who runs meetings and marathons with the same smug energy. For 3 months, she cut through my property, cut 4 different locks, tore down 24 no trespassing signs, and dragged half her subdivision with her, all because my land happened to offer the shortest line between Willow Creek and town. I asked her to stop, politely. She doubled down. Then fish and wildlife got involved because she was trampling through protected habitat, but Diane just figured the law would bend to convenience. She made every classic entitled neighbor move, just bigger and louder. If you're wondering how an HOA president lost 12 grand, her position, and a reputation she cared about more than her own lawn, I'll tell you, it started when I decided that a fortress would be cheaper and easier than letting her win. Because here's the thing about property law. It doesn't care how much time your shortcut saves, how many people follow you, or whether you think you deserve special treatment. It cares who owns the land. And like my dad always said, you never let someone take what's yours, not even an inch. But let me back up, because maybe you're wondering who I am and why I'd bother fighting this hard. I'm Jake Martinez. I'm 52 years old, and I've spent my whole life working this ranch. 340 acres of Texas grass and limestone and memory, 40 minutes outside Austin. My grandfather bought it in '65. My father ran it after him. I took over when Dad got sick. The house was built in 1967. Modest, sturdy, quiet. That's how I wanted things. Then a couple years back, some developer out of Dallas built Willow Creek Estates right up north of me. Used to be old Henderson's place. He sold when his wife died and moved to Florida, and suddenly 240 houses sprouted up like weeds. Big houses, 3-car garages, all the city people wanted to play cowboy as long as the grass was mowed for them and the bugs stayed outside. I didn't mind. It wasn't my business. They had their own road, their own gate, their own lives. That is, until last October when I saw fresh tire tracks in the grass up on the northeast edge. Someone had found an old ranch road. My grandfather cut it in the '70s so we could move cattle easier, but we'd abandoned it after Dad put in a better access route. It had been nothing but a faint path through brush for 20 years, totally forgotten. Now, though, the grass was flattened, the mesquite was snapped back, and there was a pair of tracks heading straight to County Road 418. I figured someone got lost. Nope. The next week, I was feeding cattle, and a silver Honda comes barreling down the trail. I flag her down. Woman in yoga pants, big sunglasses, holding her coffee like a shield. "Can I help you?" she asks, like I'm trespassing on her land. "You're on private property. This is my ranch." She blinks, says, "Everyone uses this road. It's a shortcut." Yeah, everyone from Willow Creek, apparently. I told her to take the official road. She rolled up her window and drove off. 3 days later, it was 3 cars. A week after that, 7. All making the same shortcut through my pasture, saving themselves 15 minutes, but chewing up my grass and breaking my peace. I checked the county records. No easement. Not now. Not ever. Never was public, never would be. So I called the HOA office. "Can you please let your residents know they're trespassing?" Polite as you please. No response. So I went down to the feed store, bought 20 no trespassing signs, lined that whole road every 50 feet. 2 days later, half of them were ripped up and tossed in the weeds. Next, I installed a steel livestock gate, heavy padlock. By 2 o'clock that afternoon, Diane Fletcher called me up, introducing herself as the HOA president, with all the righteous authority that comes with a clipboard and a whistle. "You can't block a community access road," she said. "It's not community, it's private. My property." "Well, that adds 15 minutes to everyone's drive," she shot back, her voice icy. "Then maybe they should have thought of that before trespassing on my land." She threatened legal action. I told her, no easement, no right. This conversation is over. That night, the gate was cut. Clean, like someone used an angle grinder or heavy-duty cutters. She didn't even wait to see if I'd give in. So I replaced the lock, then 2 days later replaced it again. Every time the same, cut, tossed aside, fresh tire tracks. You ever stand in your own driveway, holding a broken lock in your hand, and realize that asking nicely, posting signs, calling the authorities, it all means nothing to someone who thinks rules are for other people? It's a special kind of frustration. It wears you down. I watch my grass get torn up, my fences get knocked down, and every single attempt to stop it just got me more phone calls, more threats, more HOA nonsense. I even tried talking to Diane face to face. Found her house, big as a hotel, Cadillac Escalade out front with HOA Prez on the plates. She answered the door with a smile that didn't reach her eyes, arms crossed, already defensive. I explained again that she was trespassing, that there was no easement, that she was leading her neighbors right into a lawsuit. She laughed it off, talked about historical precedent and community access. There was no precedent. The road had been closed longer than her subdivision existed. She just thought if she said it enough times, it would come true. My attorney, Rosa, sharp as a tack, no patience for bull, confirmed everything. No easement, no legal claim. Document everything, she said. Keep the cameras rolling. If they keep coming, we'll sue. And we did. I installed more cameras, caught Diane's car, her friends' cars, all of them barreling through. Sent certified letters. Sent evidence to the sheriff. Got nothing but shrugs, and well, it's a civil matter. So I tried a barbed wire fence, cut the next day. Tried 2 gates, she just drove around them, right through my pasture, spooking my cattle. At some point, you realize there's nothing left to do but go nuclear. So I called an old friend, Sam, wildlife biologist. "You ever seen Texas horned lizards up in my northeast pasture?" He came out, did a survey, found 3. Endangered species, protected by state and federal law. Vehicle traffic? Strictly forbidden. Now, the shortcut wasn't just illegal. It was a federal offense. When Fish and Wildlife got involved, they didn't mess around. Cease and desist orders, threats of $50,000 fines per incident. Diane didn't care. She kept coming. So did her neighbors. That's when I went to the county, pulled a permit for a wildlife barrier. 12 feet high, 200 feet long, 8 inches of solid concrete, rebar every 16 inches. Hired Carlos and his crew, good men, built half the fences in the county. For days later, the wall was up. Smooth concrete, no handholds, no way around, no way through. Diane lost it. She called her attorney, threatened to sue. And sue she did for $500,000 for emotional distress, for obstruction of community access. Judge tossed it out in less than a week. No easement, no claim. The wall stood. The HOA was fined. Diane was ordered to pay for all the damage she'd done. Locks, fences, legal fees. Fish and Wildlife hit her with another $50,000 in fines. Residents turned on her. Emergency meetings, shouting matches, voted her out as president. 3 families sued her in small claims court for lying about access. She paid them to settle. And then, the cherry on top, she sold her house at a $60,000 loss and left town. Now, I don't know what you'd call all this. Karma, justice, or just a very expensive lesson in picking your battles. Maybe all 3. But I do know this. The wall still stands. Diane Fletcher is gone. The shortcut is gone. My pasture's recovering. The horned lizards are back. Sam says their numbers are up 40% since last year. My cattle are calm. The mornings are quiet. Sometimes people ask if I regret building that wall. If maybe it was too much, if a lawsuit would have been enough. Maybe if you're someone who's never had to defend your land, that seems reasonable. But if you've ever watched someone chip away at what's yours, inch by inch, day by day, you'll get it. You'll know why you don't back down, why you draw the line and say, not one step farther. So what do you think? Was I right to build the wall? Was I stubborn, or just protecting what generations before me worked for? Ever been in a fight like this, where respect, not convenience, was the only thing that mattered? Tell me about it. I'd love to hear if you ever stood your ground, or if you wish you had. Because, in the end, some boundaries are worth more than a shortcut. Some lines you just don't cross. And that wall out there, it's not just concrete and rebar. It's the story of why this land, this legacy, will always be mine.